Guys, I am so excited for this recipe today because we are making the most popular recipe on the blog. 7-ingredient, paleo, and vegan-friendly magic cookie bars. Some people call them Hello Dolly bars, some people call them 7-layer bars, but what you need to know is they are layers of nuts, chocolate, coconut, and this creamy condensed milk on top. They are so good, and we're gonna make some healthy swaps to make them a lot better for you. So if you're ready, let's jump right in with this delicious recipe. In a large pot set over high heat, whisk together a can of full-fat coconut milk and a half a cup of honey. Bring the mixture to a boil and boil rapidly for 1 minute. Stir it constantly as this rises a lot. As you can see, I probably should have even used a bigger pot for this. Once it's boiled for a minute, reduce the heat to medium and simmer for about 20 minutes, stirring it frequently until the sauce has reduced by about half. I typically like to chop my almonds to use later while I'm waiting for the sauce to thicken. You just want to finely chop them here, about 2/3 of a cup of almonds or 87 grams. After 20 minutes are up, you can see that the sauce is reduced by half and it's really thick and bubbly now. Next, you just want to pour it into a large measuring cup to let it cool while you make the crust. Just note that you should have about 1 1/4 cups of sauce left after you've reduced it. While the sauce is cooling, it's time to make the crust. Put 1/3 of a cup of room temperature coconut oil, so it should be the consistency of softened butter, as well as the remaining 3 tablespoons of honey into a large bowl. You then want to beat it with an electric hand mixer until it's smooth, creamy, and well combined. The crust calls for 3/4 of a cup of coconut flour. So first you want to sift it to make sure that it's not lumpy and you get an even measurement. So put it in a small sifter, and I just like to sift it right onto a paper towel. Measuring your coconut flour correctly is really key to ensure that your bars turn out. So once you have your sifted pile, spoon it into a measuring cup very lightly. You don't want to pack it in. Use a fork to level it off. I like to make sure my fork is really flat, and do this for 3/4 of a cup. I'm using 1/4 of a cup, so I'm going to do this 3 times. Your 3/4 of a cup should equal 66 grams. I really stress that you should measure your flour, especially with any gluten-free baking, to make sure that you get really even, consistent results. Once your coconut flour is correctly measured, stir it along with just a pinch of salt into your beaten together honey and coconut oil mixture until it forms a really sticky kind of wet dough. Transfer your dough into a parchment paper lined, don't skip this step, it's key, 8 by 8 inch baking pan. I also like to rub the sides with coconut oil just to make sure that nothing sticks when you go to take these out later. And then use your hands to just pat it down nice and evenly. Once your crust is nice and even, pop it in a 350-degree oven just until it's lightly golden brown, which is about 7 minutes. You don't want to overbake this or else the cookie bars don't turn out that great. Your crust might rise a little bit in baking, that's totally fine. Just take a spoon and lightly press it down so it's nice and flat again. Working quickly, sprinkle the almonds that you chopped earlier over the crust. You want to get all the toppings on the crust while it's still warm and soft, so like I said, you do need to work quickly. Then, gently press the almonds into the crust just to lightly adhere them. Then, you want to sprinkle over 3/4 of a cup of dark chocolate chips. You can use dairy-free for a vegan option. Make sure they're nice and evenly spread out. On top of the chocolate chips, you want to spread 1/2 of a cup of unsweetened coconut flakes. Again, make sure they're evenly spread out so each bite is full of chocolate and coconut deliciousness. Now you want to evenly pour over 1 cup of that reduced coconut milk honey mixture. Like we said earlier, it does make 1 1/4 cups, so you don't need to use quite all of it. Just use 1 cup. Gently pour it over evenly, and then just kind of shake around the pan. Do this gently until the coconut milk starts to sort of sink in the layers. Now it's time to pop it back in your 350-degree oven until the edges are a deep golden brown and the coconut milk is nice and bubbly. This is about 27 to 28 minutes. Once your bars have chilled overnight, simply uncover them, slice them into 16 bars. Now just note that the top is really squishy and the crust is really hard, so you really need to put some muscle into it to make sure that you slice all the way through the bars and you don't just end up lifting the top off the crust. Now all that's left to do is eat. And there you have it. So easy, right? The hardest part is waiting for the bars to set overnight. Shh, I won't even tell if you can't even wait and you wake up and have them for breakfast. It's our little secret. If you like this recipe, make sure you give it a like and a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel because I'm sharing healthy, delicious recipes with you all the time. I'd also love for you to leave a comment and let me know if you tried the bars and if you like them. If you want to grab the full recipe, there's a link in the description to my blog, www.foodfaithfitness.com, and you can find all the details there. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go enjoy your healthy little treats, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.